Welcome to Above Average Agents. This is the podcast where we spill the tea on everything going on in the market and how to be above average. I'm Tiana Morales.
I'm Katie Lucie.
I'm Meghan Romanelli.
All right, let's discuss how we handle the difference between a luxury client, somebody who might be buying, I don't know, a million plus, and a first time buyer who's looking to buy their first townhouse at, let's say, 400,000. What are the different things that you guys do for each of those types of clients, like your playbooks? Katie.
So for me, so first time buyers doesn't necessarily tie to a price point. So, but I do think that even if you're the $2 million first time buyer or a $200,000 first time buyer, you're still like nervous more than you would be normally. So your approach as an agent or an advisor has to be a lot different. If somebody's looking to buy their first home, they're going to be more nervous. They're going to be more hesitant. They're going to ask more questions. They're going to need a little more. Even if they're like a super savvy business person, they're going to need more hand holding. And if it's a luxury buyer, are they upsizing their family? Is this their 12th house? Like the questions are going to be more of like what that asset's going to do for them. So, and they may be a little more confident. So like if I were to upgrade my family right now, I am not going to be as sensitive to price point because I know what my family needs versus what we have right now. Like I know what upgrades would be important. I know what I'm looking for. So like I would pay a little more, not pay more, but I would be less stingy when it comes to my money to get what I want because I know what I want. If you're a first time home buyer or like I was showing some newlyweds, they're adorable and they're like, we're gonna have kids, we have a dog now, we're doing this, we want like they don't know, but like and they know they want to be in a decent school zone and they want at least 4 bedrooms because they want to grow a family. But I'm like, but you don't know how you're gonna live. You don't know what kind of you know what I mean? So like first time home buyers don't have as much experience because they've never done it. So that's my opinion. Change the approach.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think that the first time buyer understands like what's important and what's not. Like a lot of times, first time buyers will focus on, well, there's a cracked tile or there's like chipping on the stove. I get a lot of that for some reason. I don't know why. Like the stove is chipped or this and that. And it's like, you have to educate them on how to stay focused on the things that really matter versus small little things that are cosmetic and can easily be changed.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And people do get hung up on that so much. And it's a really good point.
And it's only because they don't know what can be changed quickly or not. Like, yes, everyone knows like a stove can be changed relatively easily, but in their mind, they just see dollar signs. They're like, that's going to be thousands of dollars. And it's like, no,
Right.
a stove, a moderate one could be $500 to $1,000. So it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Katie kind of touched on it a little. It's a mindset, not always a price point. We think a lot of times first time home buyers are typically less, but I actually have a first time home buyer who came into money later in life. And so he's purchasing a very expensive first time home. And it's still that mindset. We got the inspection report back. He was like, there's rust in the air handler. And I'm like, we're in Florida. Like, that's not a big deal. Think about how much you're spending on this, we'll just say 5 million plus home. And, the whole AC unit's like $8,000. You could get a brand new one if you wanted, but like to him, it's like, I don't know anyone. Is this a big deal? Is this going to lead to mold? Like freaking out because he's never owned a property and managed a property and understood what goes into it. So to Tiana's point too, it's like that mindset of just teaching them like, hey, actually, if you ever own a home, there's probably going to be rust in your AC forever. Most people get a service plan twice a year to maintain that AC. So why don't we ask the sellers, do they have one in place? Can they have it serviced prior to closing? And he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. That sounds doable. And, it's just taking it down a peg to like explain it, lay it out for them, and then explain, the situation. And in this case, it was a new construction home. So it was like, look, you seem a little overwhelmed by some of these things. I just want you to know in the future, we'll set you up to take care of this stuff, but like, because it's a new home, let's ask the seller. They probably have vendors and relationships in place right now. You know, he was really upset about cracked tiles. He's like, the roof was put on last year. What do you mean there's cracked tiles? I'm like, it happens. They walk on the roof that same day they install it, and they might crack a tile or two the very same day they put the roof on. So it's not as scary as it sounds. That being said, I bet there's a 5-year warranty on this roof. So why don't we have the sellers call the roofer and have them take care of it? And so it's really like still that hand holding that the first time home buyer needs, and it's available at any price point, but it's like taking a step back to really walk them through it and explain to them and even show them, be like, look at these companies, you know, we can get you ECM or whatever, a home warranty for $1,000 a year that protects all your appliances. And then you just call them when there's an issue. Like, there's ways to mitigate these problems to make them less scary, and really explaining that. And then more to Tiana's point, like on the front end, it's the shopping with first time home buyers versus buyers that you vetted that have maybe done 5 real estate transactions in 5 years. They know what they're doing. I know with first time home buyers, like they'll send me 1,000 properties. Oh, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. And you want to be like, okay, I love that. I love where your head's going, but how about let's get on a call, let's get on a Zoom and see why you like this and what you like about it. And sometimes a first-time home buyer, for me, I work a pretty large market. They'll be like, oh, I want this one in Margate and this one in West Palm Beach and this one in Coconut Creek. And you're like, whoa, back up. Like, you need to go to some open houses. You need to figure out which city, area, gated, not gated, where you want to be. Right. You can almost do that on your own time, drive around. Once you've narrowed it down to 2 or 3 communities or at least a city, I can help coach you better. You can't just go and see every cute house and buy one. That's not a strategy for real estate, unfortunately. So it's really training that and coming off polite and helpful because you want to help them, but just setting the expectations. Like, most clients, I show them less than 10 homes before they write an offer. Like, you don't need to see everything under the sun. We need to get crystal clear on what it is that's important to you. And then we go see the best of those and we pick one. And then for the luxury buyer or the experienced buyer, sometimes it's total opposite. It's like, you know exactly what you want. To Katie's point, I'm not even going to call you. I'm not going to put you on a drip. I'm not going to send you something unless I know it's what you want, and be like, hey, this just hit the market, or hey, my buddy has this being listed soon. Like, when can you see it? And it's one house at a time, and you don't want to waste their time. If they're luxury or experienced, they don't have time to see 5 properties a weekend, you know, until they pick one. It's knowing exactly what they want and adding that value. I mean, like, I have this for you. You're going to love it. And even previewing it. I know Tiana does this for a lot of her buyers. Like, go look at it as the agent first and be like, is it in good shape? Does it look like the photos? Does it match? And then that way, when you take your buyer, you kind of know the home, you know the layout, you know it's going to suit their needs, and really catering to that time. Because a luxury buyer doesn't have time. They don't want to see 5 houses. They don't want to look through your emails where you're sending 25 properties. That's not going to satisfy them. So it's definitely a different playbook for each buyer.
So true.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that like with the busier clients, yeah, previewing the home makes more sense because, to your point, it's like you're not going to drag them out to see a home where they're like, no, I said I didn't want XYZ. So you have to go make sure it's not XYZ. So I love doing that because I don't want to waste anyone's time. I don't want to drag them out. I don't want to, you know, like ruin their shopping experience. And then, so Meg, let's do a little role play because I want to hear what you say for when a buyer's like, I want to go see all these Margate, West Palm Beach, you know, Juno Beach, like all the way up to Cuesta. I want to see all these properties. How do you coach them through, talk them through the word no, basically? Because that's what I think.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it depends on the customer. It's easier with some than others. But I say, okay, where do you live now? Okay, let's say, for instance, they live in Pompano and they're looking in Juno Beach. Have you been to Juno Beach? Do you know how long it takes you to get there? Do your parents live in Pompano? Do you see them regularly? Where's your office? Where do you work? Where do you need to be close to? Are you familiar with traffic patterns? If your office is in Pompano, are you commuting an hour and 15 minutes at the end of the day from Juno? And giving them these ideas that people maybe aren't thinking about. And I know they sound so juvenile, but some people literally go on Zillow because homes are so accessible and they just look at cute homes and $500,000, and they're just like, "Ooh, this one's pretty," and you really have to be like, why do you like that home? Where is it? Because we all know in real estate, it's location, location, location. You can make any home cute. Pick the location, pick it around your friends, your family, your job. They don't, if they work remote and they're not from here and that's not important to them, then to your point, Katie and Tiana, do you have kids? Do you want to have kids? Are schools important to you? I love to bring up, do you like the beach? Because I know myself, like I need to be 20 minutes from the ocean at all times. Like I love being east. Other people come to Florida and they're like, I don't care. I just want a big house. So then let's put you west, and really asking great questions. And I know you guys are so good at it, but it's what's important to you. What do you like to do for fun? What airport do you fly in and out of? If we go on a vacation, like if they're from here or not from here, you still have to ask these like questions that of what's important to you and figure out where they can be. And if they can't, if it's still not going well, I advise on visiting open houses. I say go to open houses. You don't need me. If you take some time to go with your partner, your friends, your family to look at stuff and start to get a feel for the area. Because if you're wanting to see a home in Juno Beach and you've never been there, like your first time doesn't need to be with me.
So good.
I don't know if that's
Do you ever tell them, is there any like hack that you have? Like if somebody is like between a couple neighborhoods, I like will tell them like go to the grocery store, go to this place, go like to shop around. And like, do you tell them to do that? Because that like lets people know like who actually lives in the neighborhood and who is going to be like your community. And I that's helped me a lot too, because there's some fairly tight knit communities in northern Palm Beach County, and people want to get in where you fit in, right? And yeah. I don't know, that's helped a lot.
That's great advice, Katie. I think utilizing Google Maps, like we do it because it's our job, but reminding them, go play on Google. Like if you're a Whole Foods shopper and you want to buy a house, but the closest Whole Foods 25 minutes, is that a deal breaker for you? There might be a Publix 2 minutes away, but if your Whole Foods is 35 minutes away, does that upset you? If you love to go to the gym, is there an Equinox or an LA Fitness? Is there something nearby? And that research really needs to be done on your own. Yeah. We'll coach you. Any good agent wants to help you and we'll point you in the direction and get you thinking about that. But, at the end of the day, an above average agent is not doing, community tours to tell you which grocery store to go to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big thing because a lot of times the consumer will expect the real estate agent to be able to take them around the whole entire community and be the tour guide. And it's like, we're not tour guides. Like we have to remember to stay in our lanes. Like we can tell you, hey, like this city, like Delray, they have an Aldi, they have a Sprouts, they have a Publix and a Trader Joe's. You're going to be able to get like everything you want. But I don't have to take you to those things. Like you have Waze and a GPS. And also like we have to remind people like they're grown-ups. They have to make their own decisions and be able to drive through and see like, do I like this type of community? Do I need something more, something less, etc.
But to our point of like the first-time home buyer versus a more experienced buyer, like first-time home buyers will innocently not realize like, oh yeah, I should think about these things instead of just like, this layout and yard feels good. I like the pool. Like, right. But like, if you don't have a gym and you work 46 minutes away and you like Whole Foods and you're 25 minutes away, like you're not going to like living here. It's going to feel like the boonies to you, even though it's not, and like an experienced buyer knows they know because they know, okay, well, like this is right by a school. It's going to be crazy at 2:00 and I have to go get my kids from their private school. You just know. So when it comes back to mindset and like coaching and advising these clients, like the first time home buyers, that's why like guides and these lead magnets that we make all the time are very helpful because I just send it like private school stuff. My kids go to public school. Like I know which ones are good because of my friend's reputation and talking to people in the community, but like, I'm going to let you judge that yourself. So here's a guide and you call them,
Right. Because everyone needs different things from like schools or different things from grocery stores or different things from their area. So yeah, you have to know what's important to you for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And first time home buyer could mean first time home buyer younger, moving into like family or not, or what have you. Or it could be we have a lot of relocations, first time home buyer in Florida.
Yeah.
And I think that same, give them a checklist, give them an answer, a bunch of questions. What's important to you? You know, you think you want a big house, but if you're moving to Florida for the beach, usually you don't get both. Those are two very different things. So it's like making them aware, like, okay, you want a big house? Sure, we can put you in a great big house for 500,000 and, you know, Coconut Creek or what have you, go out west, but you want to be by the beach. That's a 20-minute commute. Is that far for you? Is it not? You know, making them realize geographically, like, have you looked at a map? Do you understand?
Hmm. And sometimes I think it's also, I have to remind myself that I tend to like take on the mom role, like even though I'm not a mom, I tend to act like a mom sometimes where I'm like, for first
And
time home buyers, where I'm like, okay, you know, are you sure you want a single family detached home versus a townhouse? Because in a single family detached home, you're going to have a roof and you're going to have, the water heater and the AC and the lawn maintenance and all this other stuff. Versus in a townhouse, you're going to have all of that taken care of in your HOA. Are you sure you're ready for that expense?
Yeah.
And if they say yes, it's like that is their decision. They're a grown adult, like they
yeah.
get to make that decision.
Right. No, it's important to point out the maintenance is big, and I love to bring up taxes. Taxes in Florida are expensive, and they get more expensive each year, and people don't factor them in enough. Even,
No.
I don't know, depends on the lender. I'm sure some lenders are coaching, but for an experienced buyer, they've probably paid a tax bill and they don't care or they know.
They know.
Whereas a first time home buyer sees, my favorite is like, no, I looked on Zillow. The taxes were 2,500. I'm like, that's not
From
your taxes.
1994. Yeah.
That has no impact on you whatsoever.
Right.
PSA to anyone watching, that's not your taxes.
Right. That's not how it works in Florida, for sure.
No.
Yeah, it is interesting, the tax conversation, because even though you do have it, they'll forget, and then the tax bill comes, and they're like, "What is this?"
So I will say I love, so my lenders always like drive in the fact that they're going to go up so that they kind of know, because people don't know. And I got a call last night actually from one of my clients that closed a year ago. They just got their tax bill. It was like $3,000 less than they expected. So now they're saving money. So they think that me and the lender are heroes. I'm like, great.
Escrow refunds are
Related to it?
exciting.
Yes.
A
So
lot
it's
of people
very
are getting those right about now. You'll get a
right.
refund check from your lender because they escrowed all that
Yeah.
money. And if they took too much, you get a refund, which is great.
Right.
But when you get a bill that's double or triple what you were expecting,
That's what happened to me. I mean, this is a long time ago, but I didn't know. And I was like, wait, what? And,
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, if you guys have any comments or suggestions on things that you do to help the different types of buyers, whether it's a first time buyer or whether it's a luxury repeat buyer, let us know in the comments below, and we will see you on the next episode.